Morning guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you had a really good weekend. Sunday today, so I'm off, like I said on the previous video, to Nottingham to see my dad's side of the family. I've not seen him in a while. Hopefully see my nephew. Bit of a road trip. I've not seen these guys in so long, really haven't, so it'd be good to see them catch up. They actually live in a place called Bulwell, where I lived for a while, many years ago. And I was actually born in Bulwell. It was in a different place back then. I mean, I can't remember what it was like when I was a kid, but now it can be a pretty rough place to live, tough place to live for the younger people and stuff. So I'm gonna go vlog that, maybe do a bit of a drive around, show you a couple of places where I used to live, the school I used to go to, if it's still there. And yeah, it should be interesting. Before we go, after we went for some food last night with Amy's dad and stepmom, I went to see the boys. So Amy came back here, and this little boy, hey, Pooh Bank, yes, you. This little boy had turned that tap on, and this is the video that Amy took when she got home last night, because of him, look.
Pressing that button will be creating a superstar. It's like a life-changing experience.
So in one shot, make a mistake, you can't do it again. I just want to make...
I'm obsessed with these drips of water here, and you turn that on somehow, and yeah, water flooded over the sink and onto the floor. Naughty little boy. Oh, by the way guys, this guy's called Simba, and when I went to work in Iraq, I bought him for Amy to keep her company, and he's actually a poorly boy. We've had him a while, since a kitten, and only half of his heart's working, so he's been on medications for the past few years. But he's surviving and he's living. Yeah. The vets originally wanted to, said there's nothing more they could do for him, but we started giving him the medication and it wasn't really working very well. But Amy wanted to give him one more chance, one more night in the vets, and the next day he pulled round. He came round and he's been with us ever since. Apparently it's a gene defect in British Blues that sometimes they have these problems with the heart, and he is a typical example of that. So he's on medication every single day, 3 times a day for the rest of his life. Yes. We're going to head to Nottingham to see my brothers and my nephew. So guys, I hope you like the vlog. Also I'm going to test out the new GoPro on Time Warp. I'm not going to, so just see what it's like, see how it goes. I hope you like it. Fueled up, ready to go. Gonna drive down to Nottingham now. Gotta go over somewhere called, I think it's the Snake's Pass or Devil's Pass or something like that. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to vlogging it for you guys. It's all countryside, so it should be quite interesting actually. So I'll time warp it and I'll let you guys see when I edit it. Hopefully it should be good. Right guys, almost here. Pick up my brother first, Will. I'm going to go see my other brother Matt and see my nephew, but I'll give some background context to sort of my situation with this part of my family. I haven't seen them very much in the past couple of years because I've just been busy, and they live in Nottingham, I live in Manchester, so we just don't get a chance to see each other very often. And I'll be honest with you guys, don't really get on with my dad very much, so he's not going to be in it, and I don't really see him. I don't see him at all, and I'm okay with that. But I've actually not been back here in years, and I'm talking about a long time. It's changed so much. This is where I used to live. But just a bit of background context. Okay. My mum and dad divorced, separated, I think when I was about 4. I don't remember, obviously. But I was really young. And my dad married again. And he had Matthew, Rebecca, William, and Taylor. 4 other kids with his new wife. She's passed away now. She died of cancer. So he's on his own. I still keep in contact with my brothers. I think Rebecca's married now. She lives somewhere else in Nottingham. But anyway, they live in a place called Burwell. Now, I think anybody who lives here knows it's not. It can be a little bit rough at times in this place. You know, it's not the nicest place to live, especially for the young lads and young girls who live around here. It can be pretty dangerous, to be fair. I'm sure once I pick William up, he'll tell you about a few stories of what it's like to live here. That's where I used to live when I was a kid. This used to be a subway right just here. So the path would go down, under the road, and up into the side. I thought it'd be a good idea to go down this path. Well, at the time, there's some older lads, it had been snowing, and there's about an inch of ice on that path going down there. Where are we? Down there. So it was quite a steep slope. So these guys were going down that path in the ice on a garage door. And me, being a young lad, thought I could do that. So at the top of the slope, I put 1 foot on it. The garage door went behind me. I went head first and smacked my head on the ice and had a big hole in my head there, blood pouring out everywhere. 10 or something like that at the time. And my mum almost had a heart attack, bless her. Luckily enough, we had a friend, well, she's got a really good friend called Anne, and she was there at the time, so she calmed her down, you know. Luckily enough, my skull wasn't fractured or anything like that, but I had a massive hole in my head, and they stitched it up. So I've actually got one of my eyebrows now. It's slightly lower than the other one, and that's because of that, all the, whatever it is, the tissue underneath. Back then, they just sewed it up. So one of my eyebrows is slightly lower than the other one. It is what it is. But yeah, that was, brings back loads of memories. So guys, here now, just picked up my brother, Matt, no, wrong, Will, keep saying Will, and Ethan in the back. We're gonna go see Matt now. We don't see each other that often, just because the lives are so busy, and I like work nights. I'm doing like 12-hour shifts a night, and I just don't got the time to see, as well as my kids and everything I'm trying to do in my life. So we're going to go down and see everybody. So one of the reasons I've come down is to see everybody, but because I didn't realise, I only found out a couple of weeks ago that Matt had been in hospital, and I don't know what's wrong with him. What actually happened?
He got a collapsed lung.
A collapsed lung?
Just out of the blue. Out of the blue.
Jesus. And he had some of his lung taken away?
Yeah, they took some of his lung out to get a drain tube in.
So is he okay now?
Yeah, he's alright now.
Is he alright now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so and get some directions. We're going to go and see the lad, see if he's all right. What's it like to live in Burwell? Truthfully,
Rough.
Rough.
Yeah. I had knives pulled on me 8 times last year.
And knife pulled on you 8 times?
Yeah, to rob my bike. I was held up at knife point by 4 lads to steal my motorbike that I'd just fixed. Took him up to his mates in Baseford, and lads with hammers, screwdrivers and knives to try stab me. Yeah, just all about really. I've had knives pulled at me at shops. People just want me stuff.
Is it for protection? Is it for...
There's people that use them for protection. Like at one point, it was that scary for me. I used to carry a knife.
You don't anymore though, do you?
No. Because every time I go out, I'd get a knife pulled on me. Like when I was with my ex, the lad's 13-year-old, he was riding down here to go to the shop to get some milk.
Yeah.
And 3 lads pulled knives on him to take his bike off him. Just left it.
But I'm just interested of, you know, apart from obviously, why, you know, is it protection? Is it to show, sort of, be the bigger man? Why do you think it's the culture to carry a knife? You know, I'm going to spin this round because I don't want to get myself locked in. So how do you think they could? Sorry about this 54-point turn, but how do you think they could stop this like knife crime culture?
I don't know, because they've already upped the sentence for carrying a knife.
Do you think that'll stop them?
No, not really, because it depends whether you get caught. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's quite shocking when you actually talk to somebody. They're living this life every day. I live in Manchester, and the area I live, it's nowhere near as bad as this for that type of crime. It really isn't. So you don't really see it all the time. When you talk to somebody who's going through it on a day-to-day basis, it's actually quite shocking. Right, guys, I didn't video much of this because I obviously want to spend time with my family. I've not seen them in so long, but I'm shooting off now, so we're going to say bye to everybody. There you go. This is Ethan. He's my nephew. And like I said in my previous video, he's in the past, he's got himself into a bit of trouble. Started taking the wrong path in life, but he's sorted himself out, you know. He's 15 years old, hasn't had the best start in life, but he's decided to take control of his life.
While I was in primary school, I was doing well.
Yeah.
And then obviously I went into secondary school, started doing well at the start, and then it just went downhill for me.
Was there any particular point in time that sort of...
Yeah, I was with the wrong people.
Was it?
And then obviously I left them people, I was just on my own, and then I started getting bullied. And then obviously I wanted to make new friends, but then that didn't happen for a while. So obviously I wanted to take matters into my own hands and try to stop the bullying. So I took a knife into school, but then someone snitched, and then I got kicked out of school. Banned from all mainstream school. Yeah, so
you can understand you say someone snitched, but you know, for one, you know you shouldn't have took it to school, don't you?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Was it to to show off? Was it protection? What was it? Why did you?
Protection. So I wanted the bully to stop. So I did it, but it made things worse for me anyway. Then I got kicked out of school. So
I mean, how did that make you feel when you got kicked out of school?
Shocked, because obviously I couldn't go back into a normal school, so I didn't know what was going to happen. Then I went to this little school sort of thing.
Was it a school for
people that got kicked out? Yeah.
Okay. Was it all people who'd been involved in knife crime and that sort of thing, or was it just
yeah, it's things like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't fit in well there, I was getting into fights near enough every week. Got excluded a few times. So on the last time I got excluded, when I went back, they gave me an option to do 1-to-1 or, I don't know, not be in a school. So I chose to go to 1-to-1.
What does 1-to-1 mean?
Me and a teacher go out to like a library or something like that.
Yeah.
And we just do work like that so I could concentrate easier. And I was with that for about a year to halfway through year 9. And from there, I went to the school that I'm at now, and I started doing well. Started getting my head down, just focused on my work.
Yeah.
So it was easier because there's less people there, so I could concentrate.
So what have you learned from it all?
To not be an idiot and just do well. Because if you don't do well, you're not really going to get anywhere.
I mean, it's good that, I mean, you're 15 years old and you know, some people go all through the life and not realise the mistakes they made and face up to them. And I think you're brave doing this on here because obviously he knows I'm doing a YouTube video about it, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is to show people, whoever maybe is carrying a knife, maybe has carried a knife, that, you know, there's no, once you get caught, you know, your life will go downhill massively, and it's up to you guys to change that. Only you can change not carrying a knife and sort of mature to a point where you know that it's not a good thing to do. You can't to carry a knife everywhere. I sort of like understand why people do it. It's not right. You know, if you're worried about you're going to get stabbed, and the only thing you can do to protect yourself is to carry a knife, I don't see, apart from the person maturing enough to realise they can't carry a knife, how this is going to stop. And it's an actual epidemic in this country. It really is.
Mm.
I mean, have you ever had a knife pulled on you?
A few times.
Yeah.
But didn't really do anything.
But it's just that one time, isn't it? They pull a knife on you and then... So, you got no criminal record?
No.
That's a good thing. So where do you see, if you'd have carried on that same route, percentage are you would have got a criminal record?
Yeah.
And you could have been looking at time. Luckily enough, you stopped. So where do you see yourself in, say, 5 years' time? What do you want to do?
I've been thinking about so many jobs, but it just depends on what I do, like what I'm like in school and how I finish and what grades I get to know what job I'll get. So it's quite hard to know.
But you know, without a guarantee, the job you get after school probably won't be the one that you're going to be within 20 years' time.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So don't worry too much about that, I would say. The good thing is that you're not carrying a knife and you're away from that and you're sorting yourself out. You should be proud of yourself for that.
Yeah.
Really, mate, you really should. I would suggest join the army. Honestly, mate.
Maybe.
You haven't got a criminal record. Okay, you know, you're mature enough to sort of take responsibility for your actions, which you've done. And, you know, there's only one place to go now. It's up.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
It's just about the people you hang around with, and really you have to think about, do you want to actually be around them and be a part of that life, or do you want to do well and not be with them sort of people and be with actual people that will respect you and everything and
Exactly.
like, make you do good. So it's just really about your friends. Because some people can make you do things that you don't want to do.
You know what that's called? Peer pressure.
Yeah.
There's peer pressure, and it goes on everywhere, down from if you're at school and your friends are smoking, and they may not say, right, have a fag, but the pressure, because they're smoking in front of you, you're going to feel like you want to smoke as well. So then you start smoking, and it's just young kids trying to fit in, generally trying to fit in with a group of people that are their friends. So they do things they wouldn't normally do, and they make mistakes. But you can't crucify a kid for the rest of his life for a mistake they've done when they're young. You've got to give him a chance to change, and they've got to give him a chance to be a better person. And this guy's managing to do it, so I'm proud of you, bro. Proud of you, man.
Thank you.
But to that end, now I'm dropping him off. I've got to go home I've got like an hour and a half drive to Manchester, so I'm going to say bye to the guys and I'll see you guys in a minute. It's a bit of a tough subject to talk about because I know a lot of people maybe having to deal with this topic on a daily basis. Just trying to highlight that anybody who's watching my videos who maybe carries a knife, you know, there's still a chance for you to stop and change your life, turn your life around, because one perpetuates the other one. If you carry a knife because you think somebody else is going to carry a knife, then somebody else carries a knife because they're worried that somebody else is going to carry a knife, it's never ever going to stop. Whereas if you just decide to stop carrying a knife around, you know, the best defense against a knife is run. Just run. It's the best way to counter it. It doesn't make you a chicken. It doesn't make you scared. It doesn't make you a coward. It means you want to live. It means you don't want to kill anybody. It means you don't want to spend the next 5, 10, 15 years in prison. And that young lad, Ethan, my nephew, he realised the error of his ways. He realised that, you know, nothing good can come from it, nothing at all. Just got back from Nottingham. I'm aware that this subject is a tricky subject to talk about. All I've tried to do here is get across that if anybody's watching my videos that knows anybody that's carrying a knife or carries a knife, you're either going to mess up your entire life, and the ripple effects from that will affect your family, your girlfriend, your children in the future, your sisters, your brothers. And if it ever came to the point where you had to use the knife, you would destroy somebody else's life. And the ripple effects from that are catastrophic, they're massive. Because that person that you may use it on is going to have a family, may have children, brothers, sisters, and you'll totally destroy that person's life. The only way to stop this is to just put down the knife. The best type of defense against somebody with a knife is your legs. It's not a coward. You're not being a coward if you run from somebody with a knife. You're showing you want to live. You're not a coward. A coward is somebody who carries a knife. To be honest, I don't live the life that my nephew and my brothers do or have done. And I'm not from that area where they have come across it on a regular basis. And the people that are carrying these knives, 99% of them are kids. Scared probably, but they don't want to admit it, so they carry a knife for protection. Peer pressure. When I was at school, peer pressure was someone having a cigarette and go on, have a fag. We're having one. Now it seems to be, well, we've got a knife, so where's your knife? I'm a firm believer in talking about things, genuinely, you know, going through my own experiences with the things I've been through. Talking about things has made it easy for me to understand. And talking about the situations that these kids are going through on a day-to-day basis, a lot of it they probably keep from the parents. They probably didn't tell them what they're going through. So they've got a lot of pressure and weight on the shoulders. And my nephew was 15 years old, and when he got into trouble, he was a lot younger, and he's seen the error of his ways, and that should be praised, I believe. Yes, he carried a knife, but he doesn't now. You know, never will carry a knife again. He knows that carrying a knife is not the way forward. He's never going to have any type of life through carrying a knife. If anything, it's going to take away his life, or it could take away somebody else's life. So if you've got a knife and you're carrying a knife, just put put it down. It's not worth it. Use your legs, run. That is the best type of defence. So if anybody is watching this that carries a knife, just put it down.